Hello. Um, for my medical microbiology project, I selected the bacteria Vibrio cholerae. What do we need to know about this bacteria? First of all, why did I choose? Why my interest on this specific bacteria? As a person who was born and grew up in the continent of Africa, this is one of the diseases that we have heard a lot about. So this presentation is going to be informative for me and as well for you all. So what do we need to know about it? What is it? This is my overview. An overview, general information about Vibrio cholerae. Vibrio cholerae is a bacteria that causes cholera infection. It is a bacterial disease that usually spreads through contaminated water. Cholera is known as waterborne pathogen that causes severe diarrhea and dehydration. Later on, we can find that it has a lot of causes, and it's not just known as a waterborne pathogen disease. It's also considered as a foodborne pathogen, and that we're gonna go deeper later on. It also can be fatal within hours, and it deadly effects are the result of a toxin the bacteria produces in the small intestine. It's a major health threat in poor nation or developing countries. So this image, this is the example of what we consider an image can speak thousands of words. This is one of it. In this image, the image summarizes the cholera infection. As we can see on the first image, we see a stagnant water, like a water that's sitting on one place, and you can see that it's not a clean water. It's not water that you can drink. But in most developing countries, since a lot of countries that have issue with clean water, usually people come and take this water. They sometimes try to sanitize it by boiling it, but with the condition of this water, the looks of it, I don't think boiling is going to do much of disinfecting this water and then bring it to a clean water. So from that water, we see that you can get an oral infection of contaminated water or food. Maybe if you get fish from this, is it going to be a healthy fish to cook? Are you going to cook it well enough to disinfect or to make it healthy for your body? And then we see a colonization and multiplication. It goes straight to your small intestine and start developing, how can I say, multiplying. And the cause, we see number one cause of this disease, of this infection, is diarrhea, and it can be deadly. So, epidemiology of cholera. Cholera is one of the 3 diseases requiring notification to the World Health Organization. It's that kind of disease that you have to be informed every single, because it's like that kind of disease that comes and never goes. It's still around. You can hear about it today, not tomorrow, but it's still around because it is an epidemic. So cholera is also considered an endemic throughout much of African continent, where it thrives under condition of poor sanitation and waste disposal. Like the image we just saw previously, water. There's not enough water, not good sanitation in developing countries. So people are really struggling to use, to get a healthy water, basically. Cholera remains a global threat to public health, especially in developing countries. And cholera still exists in Africa, Southeast Africa, and Hades. So why are they specifically mentioning this part of the continent and country, Hades? So this is a chart of reported cases from 2012 to 2017. As you can see, the majority of the countries are from the continent of Africa. Most of them, basically most of them. So the majority on this chart is there are countries from the continent of Africa, and we can also see 80 over there, but we see the number that was reported the most, it came from the country of Yemen during a period of 2012 and 2017. So what are the causes of cholera? What causes this infection? Contaminated water. Number one, as we saw previously in that image, like I said, that image just gave us a lot of information about the infection. Basically summarizes everything that I'm talking about right now. So contaminated water supplies are the main source of cholera infection that causes the acute gastrointestinal disease. The toxin of bacteria causes a huge loss of water from the body, which can be deadly if not treated. And that's when we saw the example of diarrhea. We lost a lot of water through diarrhea. And these are examples of the bacterium that can also cause infection. We have the surface or well water, because usually in developing countries, people need to get water. They use the well to get water. They have to boil and try to make it a little bit healthier for them. We have seafood, dairy products, and poultry and meat. Poultry and meat, this is what brings cholera to be considered as a foodborne pathogen. Because if you eat raw food or uncooked food, it can also develop this cholera infection in your body. What are the symptoms and signs? Number one sign is diarrhea. Diarrhea causes dangerous food loss, about 1 liter an hour. The second one, we have nausea and vomiting. This is just nausea and vomiting is not like a long-term kind of symptom or sign. It's basically on the early stage. Then we have dehydration. Dehydration leads to rapid loss of minerals in blood that maintain balance. Minerals water that maintain balance, causing electrolyte imbalance. So what are the risk factors? Who is at risk the most? Everyone is susceptible to cholera, except the infants who get immunity from nursing mother who have previously had cholera. More risks are poor sanitary, exposure to disease, and raw or uncooked meat, which I said qualify cholera as a foodborne pathogen. Okay, so let's talk about treatment. What treatment do we have over there to reduce or to eliminate cholera infection in the small intestine? We have the vaccine called Vaxchora. It's a liquid dose taken by mouth. This vaccine can be taken by mouth. I think they give it by dose, like 1 dose per person. It is also recommended for people who travel to countries that are reported to have cholera infection to take the vaccine at least 10 days before to protect themselves against the infection. Then we have rehydration. Rehydration, after going through all of the symptoms and signs, you vomit, you have diarrhea, you lost a lot of amount of water, which is dangerous to you and can lead to death. So you need to rehydrate to replace the lost fluid and electrolyte lost. And then we have antibiotics. Antibiotics help to reduce the bacteria and also shorten its duration in severely ill people. We also have the zinc. Zinc has been currently shown or proven to decrease diarrhea and shorten the duration of infection as well, but mostly in children. So what do we need to go? Next, we have prevention. How to prevent ourselves, how to protect ourselves against the bacteria. So we have number one, wash your hands. That's what we are doing currently, even with the COVID virus. Wash your hand. That's the most preventive way to keep yourself safe. Anything that goes to your mouth, anything that you touch, you need to wash your hand. Wash your hand with soap and water. Drink safe water. This is a number one issue that's going on those countries that have reported most cases on the cholera infection. They don't have safe water. So they're using well water and then boil it to actually try to make it safe, but we know it's not as much effective, because if cholera still affecting them as much as it is now and causing a problem in most of those continents and countries. That means they still don't have safe water. And eat well cooked food and hot food will prevent you against developing the disease. Peel your own fruit and vegetable. What do I mean by peeling your own fruit? On those countries, developing countries, mostly when you buy food, you can buy food outside. People are selling food everywhere, and they can do it for you. So it's more safe if you buy yourself, you wash yourself, and you do your own fruit or you wash your own vegetable. It prevents you against the infection, against all the symptoms, against everything that we just went through. So, in conclusion, like we said, I'm just going to try to summarize it. Cholera is basically people get contaminated to water, not safe water, not uncooked food. Basically, it's safe, like we said, wash your hands, stay clean, buy your own food, wash them. Well, that's most of it, all I had to say. And this is my citation. I used 2 articles to get most of my information, and these 2 links are where I got my image to basically back me up, to support my ideas. Thank you for watching and for listening, and I hope that this presentation somehow is going to be helpful to you all.